College has become much more important. In the last decade, we are producing less, we're manufacturing less, which means we're using fewer and fewer people in muscle positions, and we're building an economy based on using more and more people in intellectual positions. When we talk about the shrinking middle class in this country, one of the really interesting things is the middle class is actually going in two directions. As the people in the middle class become better educated, they're actually slipping upwards into the upper middle class or the lower rich class. And then the people who are not educated are slipping into poverty. That's how it's actually shrinking in the country. So if you look at how America stands in terms of degrees, in the over 55 category, I think we're second in the world. If you look at the overall, we dropped to, I believe, 11th. Which means that the younger people aren't replacing, in a sense, the older people. Part of that challenge, of course, has to do with demography. It has to do with whites becoming a shrinking proportion of the population. And the people who traditionally have not had the best benefits from our educational system are growing as a proportion of that population. Hispanics are a large part of the population, over 50 million now, and they're growing really fast. What we find is that so many of these students live on the edge. I mean, the difference between failure and success, it can be a single decision. It can be a single barrier.
My name's Abel Aguilera. I'm 17. I was born in Martin Luther King Hospital. I grew up mostly in California. I've never really been out of the country, and yeah, I just like to have fun and stay on my studies, and on my own free time just go do my little hobbies like skating or boxing. I live with my mom. Oh, she doesn't work. She lives on off the money like welfare and Social Security. My real dad died when I was 1 year old, and then my stepdad, he's not really around anymore. My mom told him to leave. My mom's always been proud of me because I don't know, she just always liked how my thinking. For her, she just always wanted to see me graduate. And when I was at that low point in my life, I would tell her I'm not good enough to graduate. I'm not gonna graduate, so that's it. I'll tell her and she wouldn't say anything. You could just see it in her face that she was sad. For me to show and instead of just talking, she's gonna see me graduate, and I know she's gonna cry that day when I hold my diploma. Because I love my mom. My mom's one of the greatest impacts on my life. She's always been there, she's always helped me. She's always tried to tell me right from wrong, even though she knew I was doing the wrong. So she's always tried to be there, you know what, why are you doing this? Why are you doing drugs? Or just little simple things that I think matter a lot.
I'm gonna be standing.
I have good friends that are focused in school, and then out of school, I have friends who just want to smoke or who just want to go play basketball. They just want to get high off stuff, and so that's the bad influence. And then they'll be like, oh, you want to go out? Let's go out here, let's go party. And I was just nah, I'm cool. I have school tomorrow. Because as for Latino males, the ego is just they just want to fight. People just try to mess with you for no reason, just because. And I think that's what bugs me and like makes me really want to leave like here, because I'm tired of just like fighting or like dealing with people who don't want to better themselves and just want to cause nothing but trouble in the streets. My dad, he was always on the streets like with his friends, like just always like smoking, getting high. And I was doing so much drugs frequently that I actually got sick. Definitely that like was a wake-up call for me. Like I just didn't want to do it anymore. I have like a couple of friends that passed away. At Belgrade Skate Park, my friend Mikey, he was playing basketball in the basketball courts with his friends, and because of the people he was hanging out with, there was a car that stopped and they started shooting, and it's funny because the only one who got hit was him. Death is just like always near and unexpected.
My name is Edgar Rodriguez. I'm the oldest of 5 children. Recently, my dad left to Mexico to live with his girlfriend, and it hurts to see that they won't have a father to be right there for. When my dad left, I was pretty mad at the choice. It exposes all of us to realize that we're gonna have to be on our own from now on. It starts off for my little brothers at age of 5, age of 6, that they're realizing that they have to do their own stuff without anybody guiding them. The one that troubles us the most is my sister, Carissa. She's a little rebellious for her age.
What?
My mom, she's unemployed right now. She gets financial assistance from the government. When my dad left, she had 2 jobs at the same time. At first, they didn't want to accept it. My smaller ones, they always asked where my dad was at. But then they got accustomed to it since they were used to just living with my mom. I wish for my mom that she realizes how much she's doing, because I don't think she realizes the impact that she's actually given to us. And she's learning how to raise a man, which a lot of mothers can't do.
My name is Julio Perez. I live in Bell Gardens, California. I'm 17 years old and I attend Bell Gardens High School. I live in a family of 5. My dad is the leader. He's the main figure in the household. I have 2 younger sisters. One of them is 14. The other one is 8. My family and I immigrated here to the United States when I was 1 year old. My mom doesn't work. My dad is a construction worker and a welder. He started working when he was about my age, and he's been working ever since. That decision made things more difficult for him, growing up and having to work. I work with my dad on the weekends, on Saturdays and sometimes Sundays, depending on how much work he has and if he really needs help. Other than that, if he doesn't, I'll just do homework or practice on Saturdays. Just looking at his hands, how many cuts he has. Sometimes he bruises himself or he could hurt himself at work, and he always goes to work. Even if he hurts himself really bad, the next day he's always up and working till long hours, from 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock or later, depending on how much work he has. And he really motivates me, encourages me. It's because he could work very hard and not get paid that well. So he wants me to, through education, to study and be able to acquire as much money as he can without having to struggle as much as he does.
I am Marco Davis. I am the Acting Director of the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for Hispanics. Our purpose is to look at ways and to engage communities in finding ways to increase the achievement of Hispanic students from pre-K all the way through careers. We also know that there's a significant number of Latino students who, if and when they get to college, become the first generation in their families to go to college. And so it's completely unnavigated territory for them and their families. And that poses some daunting challenges. It's an unfamiliar system. There are questions that families haven't had to face before, such as leaving home and what that means for the family. What the other influences are around the young person that may not necessarily reflect a college-going experience. There's a culture shock from leaving home. There's a culture shock from going away to college, to setting foot on a college campus often for the first time. But once Latino students experience that, it's demystified. Once Latino students are exposed to that environment, they thrive. And so it's a question of opening up that opportunity for more students. It's helping them get from their neighborhood, from their school, from their home life experience to the college campus, to the post-secondary education, to the vocational school, and that will benefit them and their family and their community in the long run.
My name's Terry Olivas de la O. I am an occupational therapy assistant, known as a certified occupational therapy assistant, with the standing of a roster of honor. There's only 35 of us in the United States that hold that, and I'm one of the first Latinas and only Latinas that holds that honor within the American Occupational Therapy Association. I'm the founder of Family Success by Design, a nonprofit that was developed in 2006. The primary reason it was developed is the issues within the communities of lack of education, lack of follow-through, financial literacy issues, health and wellness issues. Interesting enough, girls were in peril, say 12 years ago. The statistics were just as frightening as they are for boys, in that the higher rate of suicide, the highest rate of pregnancy with young Latino women. But again, many women stepped forward, many amazing warriors, I'll say, really stuck forward to work for the girls. The unfortunate thing is our boys got forgotten. Our men got forgotten. Our men in the Latino community, and I'll make this statement, do not have the tools to move it forward. That's the issue that was happening. Boys were critical. They were still, right now, the highest rate of suicide is our Latino young men. Second behold is our African American young men. But it's across the board, and it's pretty scary. And a lot of it deals with education, the expectations, the culture, the family situations, if they can meet the standards or the expectations that many put on them within the school system.
This neighborhood, the city of Bell Gardens and the city of Commerce, are an entry point for many students. Just like South Central, Huntington Park, Southgate, 98.6% of our students are Latino. For many of the males and females, even if they have good grades, they may not get enough money to financially support them through college. So both boys and girls experience the same dilemma, and it's the finances. I think what makes Montebello Unified unique is that we do have a variety of programs that are designed around helping our students to be successful from elementary school all the way to high school. And at the high school level, one of those programs is the ABIT program, the Advancement via Individual Determination program. I think our district is always looking for new ways to keep students engaged in school, active in school, and to help prepare them for college and career.
AVID is a national college readiness system now, but it was begun by one great teacher in one school, in one classroom, over 30 years ago. In San Diego, Mary Catherine Swanson was in a school that had historically just served middle income and higher young people. Because of a court desegregation order, they were going to bus some young people from down closer to the border to her school. She was convinced, unlike some of her colleagues, that given the right kind of support and the motivation that is intrinsic in a lot of young people, that these young people that were coming in on buses every day could be just as successful as the college-bound students she had historically worked with. It took a while. She developed what became the AVID elective to create that support network so that they could then go on and be successful in more rigorous academic courses. And over the course of the years, it gradually spread through Southern California, then kind of tiptoed into some other states, and now we're in a number of foreign countries and in some 5,000 schools around the world. So it began with an idea and a dream and a belief that given the right kind of opportunity, young people who came from poverty, who come from families that don't have a college-going experience, could be equally successful doing rigorous work and going on and being successful in college.
Okay, tutors are taking a look at your tutorial questions. Please make sure they have your tutorial questions and pay very close attention to that toolbox, the 6-point box. Make sure that they are citing the source. Make sure that they are telling you exactly what additional information they were able to find prior to the tutorial. In the meantime, can we have...
My name is Margaret Pedregon. I'm the senior AVID elective teacher here at Bell Gardens High School. As a senior elective teacher, my primary job for a semester is to help them navigate the college application process, try to ask for letters of recommendation if needed, help them through the financial aid process, and to make them aware of scholarships and how to read a financial aid package. What does a college class require from them? What does it look like? In addition to how to do research, how to survive in college in terms of the reading, in terms of the rigor, in terms of the balancing act that you have to do in college in order to be successful.
So what's your point of view?
It says light bulb manufacturer claims that the mean life of a certain type of light bulb is more than 750 hours. Well, it doesn't have to do with any of that. It just has to do with the mean.
Okay, so do you know the mean?
The question itself indicates whether it's a mean, the proportion, or standard deviation. You're just supposed to identify it. And then in the question, it already says that the mean life of a certain type of light bulb, so it's already a mean. So then I'm supposed to write.
Julio is one of the sweetest boys you'll ever meet. He is extremely polite. He is extremely articulate. He's extremely intelligent. He's just a sincere young man. He's the kid that when we talk about students who are undocumented, it's the Julios that I think about, because this is a young man who was brought here when he was quite young, is American in so many ways, has really taken advantage of the opportunities that have been afforded to him. And yet in the end, he doesn't have the same opportunities that his peers have. With Julio, my fear for him is that he won't be able to afford college initially. And he may find that he might have to work first, which is also difficult for him since he would be working under the table, getting money under the table. The DREAM Act is a great opportunity for him that he probably won't be able to take advantage of until next year. But my biggest fear for him is that the DREAM Act will be repealed. There are people out there who are really working hard to get it on the ballot to repeal it. I understand their perspective, but it makes me very angry because I know Julio and a bunch of other kids in the same situation who deserve an education but won't be able to afford it.
Don't forget, today's date is May the 3rd. You need to date it. This is going inside of your portfolio.
Oh, no, right now.
And it's going to go. Based on these grades, which subject should be your priority? Which one should you focus on right now, these next 6 weeks?
Okay.
What do you think, Justine?
My name is Myrna Underwood, and I'm a Bell Gardens High School teacher. Here I teach 9th grade AVID, and my job for the last couple years has been to do the 9th grade because of my personality. I'm the big mama. Julio was that young man that walked in, good student, very driven, really eager to do his work well. And when he was missing an assignment, was always ready to make corrections and turn in good work.
Julio, he's the AB 540 student. I like Julio because he's hardworking. I mean, he was one of our wrestlers here at the high school. And I like that comparison to his life. You know, wrestling's like an eternal struggle, and you have one opponent, and you're trying to pin this opponent in order to win the match. This citizenship thing, You know, he's trying to wrestle that demon and still go to college and be able to pay for it. It's a sad situation. And right now, there's not one viable answer. I'd love to say that there's like one fix-it-all, but every case is different. We just kind of have to roll with the punches and see what the kids like and what their situation is, and see if we can help them in any particular way.
Let's go to the beach. That's why. Somehow we'll leave. April 27th. But it's right after prom.
How many cycles apart from have we?
So in Princeton, right? Z, and I've got Lewis, and I have Edgar on there.
Oh, the high square.
And
then you go to.
You go to second, stat, math.
Some, right?
Edgar. Edgar's a very quiet young man. He's, again, very polite, very sweet and sincere. His peers really respect him. I think they respect him not only for his what he's capable of doing academically, but also he's in sports. There's a lot going on there. He's a nice kid. Edgar is definitely, he epitomizes what a lot of our young men experience, where he has become kind of the man of the family. He has an awesome opportunity to go to college, which will take him away from his home. And that is a difficult decision for not just for him, but for his mother, for his younger brothers and sisters, because he will be out of the picture. In many ways, that's the best thing for him, because if he stays close to home, that connection to home sometimes is so much greater that he will not be able to really focus on his studies. My biggest fear for Edgar is family will pull him back home because they need him. And that's a very real fear, and that could be his reality, because family is very important. You don't abandon your family. And I can only imagine maybe that's what Edgar would be feeling. Any child that goes off knowing that their family is struggling, there's a sense of abandonment, whether parents want them to feel that way or not, because it's family.
Okay, so back in the corner again, we got four-year university students. Here on this side, we have our trade school kids. Back here, we have junior college. Here we have our factory workers. And here we have our McDonald's future employee. Now, this is what I want you to do. Okay, based on your academic achievements so far this year, and based on what your goals are, okay, based on what your goals are and your academic achievement this year, I want you to honestly put yourself where you feel you belong. Edgar was in my junior class. I like Edgar. Edgar's a really intelligent guy, down to earth, hardworking, understands what he has to do to be successful, trustworthy, loyal. I mean, he's a great kid. I mean, sure, it's going to be tough on his family now, but I've had students like Edgar. A couple years back, I had a kid named Hans who was in the same situation, oldest kid in the family. Mom really leaned on him. They had to adjust and make a little sacrifice, but the family is thriving in its own way, and so is he. So I'm hoping the same for Edgar.
Edgar was that young man, a little soft-spoken, quiet, but he got his work done. He was that young man that knew how to come in, get the work done, and if he had any questions, he came and asked me, or he asked classmates. He always got that work done. I think about Abel, and Abel was that young man, started AVID middle of the year, didn't want to be an AVID, but for some reason he was placed here. He fought me. He didn't want to do the work. He questioned why he had to do the work, but he did it. And that's what I'm very proud of, that even though he didn't want to, he questioned whether or not this was for him. He stuck with it. And I think he stuck with it because of those friendships and just having someone on him making sure he was doing his work.
Abel is a an old soul. Abel is very creative. He's very spiritual. The way he speaks to you, the way he connects to you, he really does kind of expose his soul to you, but he also is very careful. Abel is making decisions on his own terms. Abel is strong, but he's not exactly sure what he wants to do. So he might try something here, he might try something there, and that might work for Abel because he likes to experience. He likes people. It might take him a while to figure out what type of education is right for him, what type of job. So I think he's streetwise. I'm just concerned about kind of wandering a little bit.
When I went to high school, I don't think there was that many temptations. The focus of just going to school and trying to figure out if you're going to be able to finish that essay is not there no more. Now it's about, you know, you got to be able to fit in with the right crowd, and, you know, maybe you're being recruited by the local gang down the street that is trying to have you come in. Those are real life situations that place you in a whole different, you know, lifestyle in the city of Bell Gardens. Just for this year, we have about 37 aggravated assaults, and those are classified as shootings, stabbings, serious crimes. For any 10 youths here in Bell Gardens, one of them will not make it. It's a combination of family problems, addictions, but either be alcohol or drugs, and so that makes me believe that that's one of the factors that leads to dropping out. You know, the not having that family support. And, you know, it's just a one generation after one, you know, after another generation of just, you know, gang ties and addictions. It's so easy for these kids to just say, you know what, I'm gonna give up. I mean, there's nothing here for me besides hanging out with the friends that I know, and eventually some of those friends are not the best friends.
I'm really gonna worry about him. I mean, it's hard for a man to say, but, you know, he's like a son in a certain sense. You know, I'm very proud of him, extremely proud of him. Yeah, see, Abel's one of those kids that's the kind of kid you want to help. That's the kind of kid you want to work to build up. And a lot of teachers sometimes forget that that's their job. And I mean, it becomes our job to build these kids up, to make them men, to make them carry pride within themselves.
My mail. Oh, you and John?
Yeah.
Oh, let me get you. I'll be back in. Can you bring me the mail? Whoever grabbed it, bring me the mail.
This waiting is pretty frustrating. Like, kind of like ETO. You're just like, oh, like it might be today or tomorrow or like in a week. Like, just get like a little impatient. Every day after school, I get home like from school and I check the mail. Like, that's the first thing I do before I enter my gate, to see if I get like any mail from any schools and see what they say. Well, my hope is to get accepted to Cal State LA, or at least on Channel Islands. It's really important because like pretty much there's only like a month left of school, because June 1st is like when the grades are due. I have friends who are like slacking off and getting lazy like on their academics, and as for me, it's just like I'm still staying on point and making sure I have to do what I gotta do, like all my assignments, homework, and make sure I study for tests. And if I didn't go to college, I would To tell you the truth, I'd be like a little bummed, like I'd feel a little hurt that all my other friends, like they got accepted somewhere and I didn't.
Love you, Mom. Bye, mijo. Love you.
Love you too.
God bless you.
Okay.
All right. Be good.
Well,
Behave.
stay out of trouble.
Okay.
Well, we're down to our last 35 days of the school year, which is not counting the weekends, and it's only counting senior school days. I think the kids are starting to feel the pressure, partly because all year we've been working on college applications, we've been working on financial aid, we've been working on which colleges to apply to. Working with parents and trying to get them to buy into the idea that their kids are going to college. But now they have to make a decision. Now they have to make a commitment. Where are they going to go?
I think this is like the last month, and then June's supposed to be just like a breeze. And the next couple of weeks are my AP exams, so I guess I have to sprint now. I have to study up for AP English and AP Biology.
So tell me about the finish line.
I know what my goal is. I just need to not lose focus.
Julio, is it May 4th?
Yeah. It's like 4 years of high school, all lead up to that moment when you're gonna start applying, like the SATs, the ACTs, writing personal statements, and getting letters of recommendation. Like you're acquiring all the necessities, everything that you're gonna need to go into the race. And then I guess the race is like whether or not the colleges accept you or not. And depending on how you did on your SATs or your grades, everything that you've amounted so far will determine whether or not you're accepted. So you're very anxious to see what colleges actually accepted you. Now, I think 9th grade was like the longest year of my life. And then after that, because like I didn't know what to expect in high school. And then after that, I started making friends, I got into sports. And like time just flew by, and now I'm my senior year of high school and I'm already gonna graduate.
De que desde chiquito siempre ha querido ayudarme. Una de las cosas que yo lo he detenido un poco en lo que es en mi trabajo es precisamente porque le digo que no quiero pues que él haga lo mismo, para que pues su futuro sea diferente y pueda ayudar a otras personas, así también como nos han echado la mano a nosotros, a él también. Pues que él después ayude a más personas también, igual. Pero estoy orgulloso de él.
Gracias.
I found out it was a surprise party because of all the tables that were set up outside. I just told my mom to just bring family because I didn't expect friends wanting to be on camera. And well, yeah, it just ended up being a surprise party. Yeah. I think it means more for my mom because it's like the first step into the real world. I see it as like a normal birthday. I don't know why. I think it's gonna hit me later on though. It's not gonna hit me right now until later on when I actually leave the college or get out of the house. But yeah, it's a bigger step for my mom because I would be leaving the family behind and she'd have to make my brother Abraham one of the responsibilities in the house.
Today was a blood drive, and I donated blood. You're gonna hit the... I'm a blood donor. I help save lives.
No, don't push me though, don't push me though. Don't push me though. That's good. I told you. I'll eat this part right here. Oh my God!
Happy birthday, dear Edgar. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Party.
No, you fucked up my cake.
Finally, we're gonna have to meet up during spring break.
When they come into senior year, they're excited. It's their senior year. They're going to have a good time. And when they come to AVID, they're like, cool, we're all in AVID together, and they are the chattiest bunch you'll ever meet. But when we start talking about college applications and majors and money, and they start to freak out a little bit, and it really kind of brings down that high to, this is my reality. And they understand, if they didn't before, they understand the correlation between, oh, I have to do well in school if I want that goal that comes after high school. That college for them had always been a long way away. When they come into senior year, as much as they're excited about senior year, there's that fear, and it is very, there's these mixed feelings I think that they have, because they're still kids and they have to think like adults and they have to make decisions. And some of these decisions aren't necessarily in alignment with their parents' wishes for them. And so some of them are really going out on a limb and making decisions. Do I take out a loan? Not do my parents take out a loan to pay for college, do I take out a loan? And that's a huge change for them. So not about any of the boys in particular, but I think in general they go from being kind of kids, but they have to grow up really fast.
Change. Sometimes the goals are the same, sometimes the goals are different. Sometimes you just take a different road to the same goal, okay? So what we're going to do is go through your list. Some of you haven't quite updated your list, so this is a good opportunity to tell me how you're doing. Where you applied, you're going to tell us if you received any acceptance letters, and you're going to tell us what have you decided to do after graduation. For some of you, it's going to where they've accepted you. For some of you is, I got accepted, but I'm going to a community college because, and tell me why. So Abel, go ahead and stand up. And list Abel, you applied to Cal State Channel Islands, Dominguez Hills, LA, and San Marcos. So what have you decided to do after graduation?
Slow pack.
I'm not gonna go to college.
Okay. Can you tell us what influenced that decision?
Because I just don't want to be in college like everyone else.
Okay.
I'd like to keep it personal.
Okay.
Well, like, it was helpful, and like, if I ever needed help, like, I'd bring problems or like for tutorials and everything, and like, it's just always been beneficial since like freshman year. So like.
And that's awesome because that's really what our program is, to help you get to where you're in a position to make a decision, and you made a decision that's right for you, and I applaud you for that. So good job. Edgar Rodriguez. Edgar.
I got acceptance letters that I haven't turned in. I got accepted to Arizona, University of Arizona, University of Santa Barbara, and University of Santa Cruz. And I decided to go to Santa Barbara because it's closer, and then I still get the Cal Grant also if I don't go to out of state.
So you're getting $12,000 for your Cal Grant, but if you went out of state to, you said Arizona State you're accepted to?
University of Arizona.
If you went to University of Arizona, then you would lose that $12,000. You'd have to come up with that money. So it is smart to stay in California. You're closer to your family. So Santa Cruz, I know you were looking at Santa Cruz for a while, and you decided on Santa Barbara. What was the determining factor?
I have a friend that showed me around to his friends in Santa Barbara, so like I sort of have connections there already, and it'll make it easier to like go right there.
All right, good job. Okay, next up is Julio Perez. All right.
I applied to Cal State LA, Cal State Dominguez Hills, San Francisco State, and Cal State Fullerton. And I got admitted to Cal State LA, Dominguez Hills. I was on the waiting list for Fullerton. I just needed to send in some papers. But I'm probably going to end up going to ELAC because it's more affordable.
All right, good job.
What happened out there?
She asked us on what we would do after high school, and when she asked Abel and Julio, even though they knew that they were gonna have a little hard time after high school, they knew they had everything planned already. Like even Abel admitted that he wasn't gonna go to college, and he had something else besides college that he thought it was way more important to him, and that's his point of view. My point of view was that I wanted to go to college, and I saw college as an important factor. Like you have to be knowledgeable of everything around you and be well aware of society. And Julio was another story that he was gonna go to Cal State, and I know he has the potential to go into way better schools, just that his status as being an immigrant is holding him back. And that's what really like hit me the most, because I know that there's a lot of people knowledgeable out there, just that they're at a disadvantage, even though they have that knowledge and that potential being somewhere else. I'm thankful for where I am right now, because if I would have not changed my freshman year, I would have probably been in a way worse road than Abel or Julio. And I would have probably just gone to like, not even a community college, I would have just dropped out. And I'm really proud of what all my friends in Avid and all my friends overall, what they've accomplished, because this is it. Like after high school, everybody goes their own separate ways and they build their own life from here. It's not about getting grades, it's about surviving in the real world.
Everyone had to get up and say where they're attending to and what their plans are and whatnot. And for me, it was just like, I was just like, oh, like I'm the only one that's gonna stand down, like not go to college. And so to me, it was just like, oh, like it's all right. Like, and I was straight up told my plans, and I kind of felt like the outcast because I was the only one. Like everyone had their plans of going to like what school, but like for me, that's not for me. Like I'm not traditional. I have other ideas and other plans for myself. Even though I knew I wasn't going to college, like I still didn't mind staying in. Like I liked it. I wasn't embarrassed. It's just like I just felt a little weird because like everyone else was going to college, and like there wasn't even like another person that had like similar ideas to me, and I was just the only one that was like, nah, I'm not gonna go to college. But it was all good. Like I don't mind. Like I tell people the truth, and it's just that. I'm prepared. Like once I leave, like I'm prepared. I know what I want to do. Like my mindset, like and just my academics, my speaking, my listening skills. Like I just have all these skills that I received from Avid. Like they taught me well, and I respect Avid, and it's good, and I appreciate it.
So, as you can see, Julio's grades are wonderful, just as we were talking about earlier. Very, very nice work. His senior year, everything. And of course, that's all very, very nicely in place. I mean, look at that, all A's. Okay.
You want to tell me what attracted you to ELAC?
It's the closest one. My friend, my neighbor, he goes there, and so then I went with him during the spring break, and that's when I took the assessments and stuff.
Perfect. So you took the math?
The math and the English.
And English. How did you do?
College level English and college level reading, and Algebra 2 for math.
So it's just kind of waiting. That first semester, you're going to kind of have to do it on your own, but it might be a tough semester. But you know, just I know you can do it. I mean, you're going to do really well.
Well, it was pretty much an evaluation of my high school career. We saw our transcripts, how we're doing, and it's just making sure that we're following through and we're doing what we have to do. And my parents, they're proud of me of what I've accomplished so far.
Are you frustrated? Or
yeah, I'm really frustrated. I guess we're just waiting to see if an opportunity presents itself so that we could acquire the citizenship. The exit meeting really made it possible for me to acknowledge that I've been doing what I've had to do. So going on to college was a possibility.
But got my head straight.
Took those extra classes to wake up those grades.
A little bit.
Now how they go through that phase where they just don't want to do homework, they don't want to do nothing, and then he just got back on track, so I'm proud.
Alright, Mom, put it on. My hair's thick though.
You have a lot of hair. Oh, it looks like
Yeah? That look funny?
Of course it's your hair. They're your precious
Did you like use your lawn or something? No. Are you sure? Sometimes there are things you
I already picked them up today.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, these look like medals, like from the army. Like, very important.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of bumps down the road to get to this journey, but I'm at the end of the road and on to adulthood, and I'm gonna be 18 soon, and just gonna have my career, have a plan, and I would like to keep up with my hobbies, and I'm just proud that today's the day I'm finally gonna be over with, and this cap and gown and my medals with Avid and everything, I feel like I could do anything I want, anything I set my mind to. I'm very confident. I'll leave a good individual, very powerful and strong-minded.
What's your plan? What's your game plan here?
Today, just walk over on that stage and grab my diploma and take pictures like with my friends and everyone and teachers and just say my farewells.
I'm speechless, I don't know. It's just the experience that you get from being in all these things. Like the medals and stuff, they don't mean much unless you're actually participating in the programs and being active in them. And I think that's what people don't realize that much, that anybody could get a medal, but nobody could get all that experience out of a program. You could just buy a medal and wear it, and it wouldn't be symbolic as to earning the medal yourself.
How important is it for you?
It's a very large milestone. So now through the completion of high school, now I'm looking forward to begin my own life as an adult, and all of the qualities, all of the knowledge that I've acquired at Bell Gardens High School, I'm gonna apply it now that I'm graduating.
I present to you all students who have met the graduation requirements for the class of 2012. Thank you, Mr. Claudia.
I think what these three boys have inspired me in that they have shown me a lot of resilience despite their circumstances, despite the circumstances of home, circumstances of school, circumstances of legislation. They've never given up hope. They still have direction. They still are pursuing something, even though other people may have told them, no, you can't do that. They know they can. And I think that we've given them an opportunity to establish not just a skill set, but to establish a mindset that they can do it. But I've learned from Julio, I've learned from Edgar, and I've learned from Abel, and now I've learned that I can help those students that are coming now because I've had Abel and Edgar and Julio. Hey, you, how you doing?
I can't say I didn't know if it's like I still want to be there. I still want to be there if he needs my help and whatever. If I can, I'm still gonna be there. The only thing I can do is just keep trying. I worry that he doesn't keep, like any mother worries, that I just hope he just keeps going up that ladder and doesn't, make a turn.
Need the lighter? Yeah.
One of the truths that we have in the Latino, the Hispanic community is the fact that we come from many countries, from many nations, that the government most of the time oppresses the residents, the citizens. We don't have hopes. We don't have, or they don't have dreams because they don't believe that the government is going to help them. And when most of the families, like Julio's family, come to the United States of America, they only expect to go to work and survive and feed the families. And instead of dreaming high, instead of setting up a journey or creating a plan to become someone, we just stick to what is surrounding us. And that is just to bring money, enough money to buy food, to pay for the rent. And we don't see beyond that. We were organizing a program, a Dream Act program presentation. We were gonna basically tell the students about the new financial program that was adopted here in California. So I contacted some of the teachers at a high school, and we sent an invitation open to everybody. And Julio received one of those invitations and attended the workshop. And it was how we crossed our paths for the first time.
Good evening, my name is Julio Perez, and I represent 1.8 million people living in America. Regardless of who you are, where you live, and where you come from, you will encounter challenges in various phases of your life. My personal challenge is one that many of you can relate to, and that is my immigration status here in the United States. I was born in Mexicali, Baja California. At the age of 2, I was brought here to the United States. Life here in America is all that I know. I attended preschool, kindergarten, grammar school, junior high, and just recently graduated from Bell Gardens High School on June 21st. My grades have earned me acceptances from several prestigious four-year colleges last month, but without a job, it is impossible to reach the financial demands that go along with it. But thankfully, friends, my family, my avid teachers, and various faculty members of my high school, I was motivated and encouraged to push forward, to keep fighting for what I desire, and that is to become a doctor. Now, I will never let anything discourage me from pursuing higher education. I encourage anyone who truly aspires to become a successful, responsible, and contributing member to this great country to rise to your own challenges. I will go to college. I will become a doctor. I will save lives, American lives. This is my challenge. My name is Julio Perez, and I represent 1.8 million people in America. Thank you.
Those Julios that are out there, they can benefit the society. And it's not about being illegal or undocumented, but it's about providing an opportunity for those kids that have been here since they were little ones. So when he presented himself to the world as an undocumented student, I do believe that he was thinking what's going to happen tomorrow. But after he was done, I don't know, I felt that it was a release for him. And I do believe that the next day was a very different day for him.
So I realized that it's important for me to get involved and become a part of this thing that's changing, this thing that is relevant to our time, right? That we could make a difference. Well, I wish the best for Edgar and Abel. I hope that Edgar and Abel fulfill their dreams. I know that Edgar's gonna go out there and he's gonna enjoy the college experience. He's gonna go to a beautiful school, and he deserves it, you know? And Abel, I know that he has a lot of confidence and he's very able. I know that if he's Abel's able, if anything that he sets his mind to, I know that he's gonna be able to achieve it. So all he has to do is just not get discouraged and keep going for it. My game plan for the next 2 years is attend ELAC, take care of all of my my general ed classes, and then just try to transfer as fast as I can. And then for the long term is after that, go to UCLA, obtain a bachelor's in science for microbiology, and then apply for medical school. To be a doctor, a physician. I'm not sure what specialty yet, but yeah, practice medicine.
Sí me siento un poquito mal en la forma de que es un buen muchacho, que ha sacado unos excelentes grados, que ha ido muy bien en la escuela. Sí me siento un poco mal saber que va a tener trabas en la forma de que él no tiene seguro social, de que él no va a poder recibir ayuda financiera, su seguro social, y no tiene su ciudadanía. Yo sé que lo va a lograr. Con la ayuda de Dios, él va a salir adelante.
I was kind of fed up with school and I didn't really want to continue with education at the point. I was kind of just like stuck, not knowing what to do, felt kind of weird, waking up, not having to do anything. It turned out that in the end, like, I did want to go to school and I knew that it was the right thing to do, like, I'm young, and so I took the opportunity because you don't get a lot of opportunities like this in life. So right now I'm studying to be a licensed vocational nurse, and this is just the first step. Like, after this, like, after I graduate, I'm gonna go to school again, continue going to school to be a respiratory nurse. It feels really good. Like, I feel like proud, like wearing my uniform and everything, like going to school every day, learning something new and taking tests, so it feels good.
Okay. Now draw your point one.
Well, the last week we went over like practicing how to use a syringe needle to inject, but we're using oranges and lemons. And my teacher was like, "Oh, are you ready? Now the real thing." So like I was gonna do an IV shot on her forearm, and so I went through the whole process, and I was a little nervous, but I was excited because I really wanted to do it, and I did it, and I took my time and did it good. The nervousness went away, and she said I did a good job, so I felt proud. I felt really happy. It was cool. And then I just want to keep going higher and higher in the medical field. Like, I want to be a respiratory nurse, and then I'm actually taking consideration of continuing to go to school so I could try to be a doctor or PA, and that's what my goals are for my career path.
I think I want to be positive, and there's a lot of Abels here in Bell Gardens, but I think your Abel is unique because he's been able to understand the street life in Bell Gardens. He's been able to be he's been able to beat the temptations. Even though I have no doubt that he has gone, in the dark side, but he's been able to return back to the light. He's very lucky to be where he's at. The struggles here in Bell Gardens, it's difficult and it's a challenge every day. It's almost like that warrior that wakes up and grabs the sword and the shield because he knows he's going to be faced not just with one, but with multiple battles. And that's from the beginning of, waking up, on his way to school where he's going to get distracted by the friends, by the ditching party, afterwards, while he's at school, the smoking of marijuana, maybe doing a little bit of crystal, and then whatever offers are on the weekend. It's a lot of determination and a lot of saying no to a lot of the temptations that he sees out there.
Well, before I decided to go to Santa Barbara, in the yearbook room, I had one of our yearbook advisors, Ms. Vasquez, help me out with the calculations. And she did a really good job because it was estimated that I was going to pay around $9,000 to $10,000, and I'm actually paying like $4,500. Well, my strategy for paying for school is that basically just do work study. Work study gives me $2,000 a year. And with that, I could just get books and have expenses for myself. That'd cover myself, and then the loans would just cover the tuition and housing and all of that. Before my dad left, he took out a $50,000 loan on the house, and he never paid it, so it's pretty scary that if you see it that way, but if you see it like 4,500 compared to 50,000, it's really not a big deal to me. Like a couple of days ago, I had some weird dream that for some reason it was coming back. I don't know why. So yeah, it's just an awkward thing. My dad was never really into like academics or none of that. He was just the parent that would see it as oh, you got a good grade, congratulations, and that was it. Like he never actually saw the work that I put in or none of that. He puts in more enthusiasm into sports and athletics. First quarter, I'm taking writing, anthropology, and Chicano studies. And it's pretty scary now that I think of it because one of our advisors when we were getting the classes told me, well, before I registered for the classes, I had something else. I forgot what it was. And she was like, really? You want to take 3 English classes in 1 quarter? I was like, oh, crap. Today's my last day right here at home, and just getting ready. Everything's practically last minute, like still need my fridge, my bike. And today's the last day I'm gonna be able to spend the day right here in my room, the house, with my friends. Now that I'm packing, I'm actually feeling like I'm going to college because I'm having my stuff right there and everything. It's exciting and I'm actually looking forward to it, but then it's like you don't wanna let go of the things that you have right now. The last time I contacted Julio and Abel was when we went out to get something to eat, and they're like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm really proud of them though, because Julio knows that he has some restrictions on him, and it doesn't hold him back. It's like he's a very hard worker because of his dad and everything. And then Abel just went off from there on his own. Like people saw him as a failure, and like they saw him that he wasn't gonna be much because of the stuff or the people that he hanged around with, and it was just like he's just proving everybody wrong. He's doing his own, and he's saying that it doesn't matter where you come from as long as you have the mentality.
And how do you rank in all that?
I honestly don't know. How do I rank? I don't know. I don't have a ranking for myself. I just do stuff on my own. Like, I really don't reflect on myself. I just look at myself and then say there's always space for improvement. It's tough as it is right now, that knowing that I'm gonna be leaving my family behind, and then it's gonna be even more tough once I'm over there, because the way I'm gonna see it is
oh, I'm living a good life on campus and having fun and blah blah blah, and then my mom's at home working. I think it's 47 hours a week to just simply get food on the table for everybody, and then that's what bothers me the most. I know that for sure my brother sees me as a role model. And then I don't know about the rest, but I know for sure my brother looks up to me, and he always like I look at my brother, and then I don't know. I don't know. I can't talk right now.
I feel like Edgar's had a lot of weight on his shoulders that he had to carry, being the oldest in his family and basically becoming the father figure of the family. I feel like he's had a lot of pressure. My dad leaving us it really impacted us a lot. It's just seeing your father walk out on you, you know, just saying like, well, you know, well, he didn't really say anything, he just left, you know, and well, we couldn't do anything about it, and well, that's one of my biggest, you could say, motivations to try to prove him wrong, that even though he left, and he would say that, oh, yeah, I think you guys are gonna need me, and me and my brother, we would tell him like, well, we wouldn't really tell him, we would just ignore him when he would say stuff like that, because in fact, we don't really need him because we have my mom, and my mom's basically our mom and our dad, and we're just gonna prove him wrong that we could do bigger things in life that he expected us to do.
If you notice, when there's somebody successful in a Hispanic or Latino family, they put so much pressure and weight on them because the majority of the other, I don't mean to stereotype, but the majority of the other part of the family is like failing or struggling really hard. And that's just the way that I see it right now. Like, it's my time to get the pressure applied to aunts, uncles, family that doesn't even live here, that lives in Mexico. I have a really big family, and then I have like parts of my family that I don't even talk to. And I see it as like a disappointment that they just started talking to me because they know I was gonna be successful. Major-wise, I'm going in undeclared, but I'm leaning towards economics and business, even though I struggle with math. But it just interests me on how the flow of money and how all of that works. And then I guess I'll give it a shot, and then if it doesn't work out for me, I don't know what else I'd be. When I get in the car, I really honestly don't know what they're gonna feel, but I have a clue of what I'm gonna feel, and I have a little small clue of what my brother and my mom are gonna feel, but I don't know about the rest. Like, one of the persons that I know is gonna feel a lot is gonna be some of my friends, because they always keep on telling me like, oh, you're gonna leave us like that, blah, blah, blah. But they know why I'm leaving, so I'm just gonna feel thankful because I was raised by such a mom. And I feel like I'm ready mentally wise, but I'm not fully there, like with the simple things like washing clothes or none of that. So yeah, my mom did a really good job though. It's gonna be hard because I always had her next to my side.
Entonces la última.
Ya.
Pero hoy falta la Abraham.
I love you, Missy.
The way I see my culture as, the Hispanic culture is that, like, there's so much pride in family and, like, friends, and there's other cultures that have pride in wealth. For example, like, when someone becomes famous, they have two ways in which they could be proud of. They could be proud of how they got there, and then they could be proud of what they have there. And I just see it as, like, Hispanics are proud of how they got there.
Edgar Zalno. Obligation for a young man, a young Latino man, is, as he indicated, taking care of the siblings, taking care of the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, you know, not just the family, the extended family that they're bringing in money for. How can you work with mom and the siblings to let go? And that is hard when you're looking at culture.
You have these children, you grow close relationships with them, and you have to let them leave. And they see all these teachers 3 years later. You always wondered if they still remembered you. And it's amazing that they did. So I'm flattered. And I wish them the best of luck.
Had AVID existed when I was in high school, I would have been an AVID student. It was almost like I was put here to do this particular job because in many cases I've been these young men and these young women. At the end of the day, the rewards, when you see these kids in college and they're happy, and I see their updates on Facebook, or they come back and visit and they say, college is so awesome, I realize that I had a little bit to do with that. You know, I was a little fragment of their memories in getting to where they got to. And that's rewarding in itself.
What I would like to see is an opportunity for our nation, for all of the key stakeholders, parents, teachers, schools, unions, public officials, everyone involved, to be able to come together and to find ways to remove the barriers, to increase opportunities for young people like Julio and Edgar and Abel. They, in many ways, represent the future of the United States of America. And so what we need is to find ways to allow them to reach their full potential so that our nation can become the globally competitive country that it is.
How do you know when you've done all that you can do?
I don't think you ever really know that. I think you, over the summer, you still think about them.